Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu kiosco.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello, how are you? I'm Jesus Cero from Nación Cine Magazine, Spain.
nice to meet you.
First of all, thank you so much for this interview and congratulations for this amazing show. I have to ask you about your character. What can you tell us about both of them? Because the show still has a few weeks to arrive to the audience. So what can you tell us about them without releasing too much information? Because there is a lot of spoilers.
Right. Yes,
Well,
yes. No, we know how to here, please.
Navigate. Elle is a Spitfire. She's a very ambitious woman, street smart, and loves her job, which is actually securing funding for her nonprofit, which is called the Somewhere Foundation. She plays the love interest to Alex Cross, and navigating that is also quite the challenge and turbulent at times, as she is an activist. And so dating a detective in the DC Corps causes some concern.
Right. I play Kayla Craig. She's a gifted FBI agent that has collaborated with the DC team, specifically with Alex to solve Alex to solve cases in the past. They've had a history. They've worked on cases before, so there's a lot of there's things, you know, underbelly things that we don't necessarily discuss, but the viewers will get to feel. She's just a pivotal tool that helps him solve these cases and move to solving the mystery. I'm trying not to give too much, you know what I mean?
Too much, yes. I had the feeling watching the show that sometimes with these kind of shows, the female characters get diluted within the plot, and this time the characters, both your characters, they are linked to Cross, to Alex Cross, of course, but they have a background, they have a story, they have a place to be, they have a place to cross, to clash against the main character. So how's been that? That's something that I'm imagining, or something that you felt when you read the script and you played the character?
We know this to be true because Ben has been so good about writing his female characters. And what is he conveyed this to you?
Yeah, no, I just think that it's important for him. He's expressed that the writing room is a 50-50, you know, in terms of not just all male writers. You know, we have a beautiful team of women who are in there fighting to for the voices and storylines, as well as the men, and not that it's gender specific, but that we are being equal opportunity to these gorgeous souls who are very talented at writing these deep, complex, rich, full female characters that we just aren't a pinup on a wall, but we really do move the story and drive the story forward and really incite some interesting change and development within our lead, Alex Cross. And so I think you nail it. Jesus, you nail it when you say it's not usually that way. It isn't. And I think that's what drew all of us to this project.
Yeah.
And you, Samantha, played the love interest in a sense, but how can you play the love interest of a character that doesn't know how to be loved back because he's broken? It's a really hard character to play because he's not accessible at all. He put a lot of barriers, and there is a lot of patience in your character to get to him.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny because I've actually been getting this question. I'm so glad people are seeing this, because this is really true of a lot of us. Sometimes we break and we fracture because of the loss we've experienced in such a way that makes us, as you say, unavailable. And then it makes it difficult to move forward in our life and really live our life to the fullest. But what I made sure to come with as Elle is this beautiful grace and patience, because sometimes in life we see the person we love at a place that they're not yet there yet. Like they're not yet there, but we can see the potential. And we know that they are, it's possible because they know the heart. And even though the heart may be fractured at that time, they know the capacity of that person and what they're capable of reaching. And so there's something about Elle that is very, she's realistic, she's practical, but at the same time, she has a faith in this love, in the person that she's known from childhood, even beyond this loss, and she banks on that.
And also, she's not shy to tell him what she thinks about what is going on in Washington and America these days, and the distrust with the cops, the distrust with him being a cop. It's something really interesting and really actual, right?
Yes, there's a lot of good art or good television and film reflect the reality that we live in today. And that's just part of the reality that we live in today. People experience this day in and day out, and this is giving not just how regular people interact with that dynamic, but how does a woman who loves this man, and like she said, she's an activist. So all these like undertows of tension and drama. It leads to good drama.
Alona, with your character, I have the feeling that Alex Cross is one of the most intelligent people you can meet. And he distrusts your character, or he doesn't trust at all your character. He has some feelings that he has to keep some distance because he doesn't know what she's going to do sometimes. I think it's that he feels she's as intelligent as he is.
I'm surprised that you experienced it that way. It's in season 1, because if anything, he comes to her when he's hit a wall. Like he comes to her for help when they've reached a certain point and they can't crack a certain thing. They go to Kayla for help. So, and yes, it is because he views her as somebody who understands his mental language, and they communicate once they start talking about the case in a way that kind of differs them from the other investigators. They understand the psychology, the pathology of these, and they're excited about it. There's something that lights up in both of them when they start talking about that. So if anything, it's interesting that you picked up that, because we've actually in this season, she's very much an aid to him in his process rather than the opposite of that.
But I had the feeling that he feels that she has ulterior motives sometimes.
You know, she is definitely the kind of character that takes care of herself. She's for different reasons. Maybe it's just being a woman in a man's world that she's learned to be guarded and make sure that she's her end of the deal. It's like she takes care of herself, make sure she doesn't get hurt or burnt. Right? Because that was the case in the past. And especially this kind of world where you're dealing with a lot of psychosis, it does tend to affect you. So both of them have certain guards that they need to have up, if only for like self-preservation. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that's what it is.
And what we heard that season 2 has already wrapped.
Yep.
And maybe you can tell much about it, but can we have a hint about what is going to happen? Especially since that post-credit scene that we have.
Oh, yes. Well, you're gonna learn a lot about there's gonna be some more releases, I think, regarding the past to Kayla, where she comes from. And in season 2, I think I've mentioned this. I liked what we were talking about earlier, that the mystery in season 1 kind of makes you wonder and gives you a peek into why these murders or these people and these incidences happen. Why do people go down that path? And makes you feel not necessarily feel for them, but gives you the ability to relate with them. And season 2 gives you this intense storyline that's, even for me, I found even more intense than season 1. In a lot of ways, I actually shed tears in certain episodes when we cried them regarding the main mystery in season 2. So I feel like the audiences will enjoy that through line, that it's not just about, here's a killer and just this simple case, you know, cookie cutter kind of thing. You actually go through an emotional experience.
Well, thank you so much for this interview, and congratulations for the show. I have to tell you, I am a huge Supernatural Veronica Mars.
Yay!
So you made my day today. So
Yay, you made my day right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Acción, tu revista mensual de cine y series, con los mejores estrenos de cine, fichas y reportajes coleccionables, series de televisión y 4 pósters todos los meses. Búscala en tu kiosco.